show where I walk, try to burn some fat, and talk to all y'all. So what's going on? Yep, great weather. Got my Apple device on my wrist and just walking and wait for all y'all to tune in. So yeah, a bunch of cool things. Again, DJI released just like a gimbal thing. I mean, if you're in professional video production and you need that type of thing, it's cool. But I found today's DJI release to be a little bit underwhelming. But I do have, and this is interesting, I do have a new drone coming. Hybrid Life, speaking of, we needed timepieces for tomorrow night. Probably not tonight, but probably tomorrow night for sure. And absolutely for sure for Friday evening. So yeah, I did get, and I'll be wearing it on the next show, I did get some of the official timepieces for tomorrow merchandise. I've got the hooded sweatshirt, and I think it looks really good. I can't wait to see what y'all think. And by the way, everybody, you can find a link below this video and all my videos, my merchandise. You know, not only timepieces for tomorrow, but also Higher Skies Adventure channel, which is where timepieces for tomorrow lives. So super excited about that. Yeah, we do need to get a live show going and have a very in-depth wristwatch conversation. This evening I probably won't, because you know, probably I'll just do a workout and just do that kind of stuff. Maybe have some bourbon or something. Just kind of be chill. But I do want to do a live show very, very soon from the studio. So either tomorrow's Thursday in the United States, and also Friday. I think both those days. Why not? So yeah, we'll do it right, man. Hopefully you and Trevor and anybody else, maybe Marcelo will be able to come in. I'd like to get a huge group. It'd be awesome to have 5 or 6 people face on video for the live show. I think it'd be awesome. So Hybrid Life, any updates on your Starbucks? Any updates on that? Are you still waiting? Oh man, they painted more arrows in the parking lot. You know, something suggests this might be a drive-through COVID clinic. Look at this. It's got these arrows. Should have it as soon as the next one they get is mine. Very cool. Look at these arrows, man. It's like a COVID clinic or something. Look at this. I'm just walking, you got this twisty arrow here. Whee! You got another twisty arrow. Looks like the people that drew these arrows were drunk. And they didn't even fill in the tips of the arrows. It's like, hey guys, let's go to an abandoned parking lot and let's draw arrows on the concrete. And the other guy's like, dude, it sounds like an amazing idea. And then the other dude was like, hey, I'm running low on paint. And the other guy was like, man, dude, why don't you go buy some more paint? He's like, nope, just gonna work with what I got. So this is the finished product here. You got a bunch of arrows in an abandoned parking lot. So it's kind of funny. And they'll probably come out and be like, man, making fun of my arrows. But yeah, so anyway, a bunch of stuff brewing. Sony is still coming out with the A7 IV. I think it may actually be tomorrow, isn't it? It's soon. And yeah, so that's going to be awesome. We've got, I was saying I've got a drone coming, and it's not, you might think it's the Mavic 3. It's actually not the Mavic 3. It's something even more awesome, and it's a secret. So the drone that's coming is going to be a surprise. So I'm excited about that. Can't wait to unbox, field test, and answer your questions. And I think you're going to be surprised when you see it. New Mac? No, I didn't. Hybrid Life, I didn't get the new Mac. I've got, I'm sticking with my MacBook Air M1. and my iMac M1, because I love both of them. You know, I got my MacBook Air M1 for portability, and it's in that gold color, looks kind of bling blingy. And then I got the iMac M1 in purple, because it looks crazy, man. And it matches my studio, my acoustic panels in my studio, gray and purple acoustic panels. So, yeah. Yep, so no new Mac. Those new MacBook Pros, though, they do look nice. The 14 and the 16, but for my current workflow, yeah, not necessary. Now, in a few years, I'll upgrade. My upgrade cycle is typically every 2 or 3 years for Macs. That's a good thing about a Mac. Unlike a PC, Macs typically have a longer lifespan before they become obsolete. And there's a sweet spot, because if you keep them too long, if you trade in, you don't get hardly anything. But if you trade in at kind of the right time, you know, it's like, well, you know, the way I look at it is that, you know, I've used it for X number of months or X number of years. Typically I go by months, and I'm like, okay, well, you know, if I get X amount for trade in, then, you know, my initial investment, well, boom, that's how much I paid per month to use that Mac. And okay, well, what was the return on investment, the ROI? And I can calculate all of that stuff and say, okay, well, you know, it's time to upgrade. You know, I'm getting some of that back, and taking into account what I'm getting back for trading it in, you know, it cost me X amount of dollars per month to utilize this awesome technology. And it's just a wonderful, again, I've done it both ways. I've done it to where I had super duper high-end MacBook Pro, and that was my i9. And again, the M1 trumps it. It grossly trumps it. But when I did that, it was kind of my one and done computer. Now I've got both, but I don't have either of them maxed out. I mean, I've got, you know, the MacBook Air only has 8 gigs of RAM, 512 of storage. Now the iMac has full 16 gigs, the max option for the iMac M1, and it's got 1 terabyte of storage. But I was able to get 2 machines for basically what one would pay for a very loaded up, high-end, you know, top of the line MacBook Pro. So again, everybody's use case is different, but for mine it's great because, you know, I got portability. And, you know, if you're doing business in dodgy areas and you got a MacBook in your car, you know, you get mugged, well, you know, I'd rather lose a MacBook Air that cost around $1,000 or so US than to lose something that costs 3 times or so as much as that. You know, take all those things into consideration. I mean, and then also, what if one of your 2 Macs, what if your Mac dies and you've only got 1 Mac? You know, what's your backup Mac? If you don't have a secondary, you know, you could be dead in the water for, you know, a few hours or a few days. With supply chain issues and delivery complications right now, you could potentially be without a computer for multiple days. And if I was without a Mac for multiple days, it would be devastating, financially devastating. So, you know, it's good to have, in my opinion, it's good to have more than 1 Mac. And, you know, they don't have to be, you know, the top of the line, but they do need to be current. And but yeah, Hybrid Life, it's not the Mac, it's I got a new drone coming, man. That drone's gonna be cool. I can't wait to unbox it, because when everybody sees it, number one, it's a drone I've never unboxed on my channel. It's current technology. I'm not gonna spoil the surprises, but it is, I think it's gonna really shock some people, and especially when they look at the price point. They'll just be like, whoa, dude, that's pretty cool, man. You know, that kind of reaction. So, that's nasty. It looks like a lawnmower rolled through some poop. Hello from the UK, the Limey. Welcome, the Limey. Welcome, welcome. Good to have you. So, the Limey, what's up with you today? What is exciting? What has excited you today? Good to have you on the show. Yep, just walking around, getting some exercise. Oh, we burned an estimated 87 calories so far, but hey, it's counting up. You know, that's the way to look at it. You just gotta keep on walking. Look out for a new upload tonight on Hybrid Life tonight. Oh, shoot me a link. So I have to check that out. By the way, everybody that has not subscribed yet, be sure to subscribe to the Hybrid Life channel. Busy day, I'm ordering a new Kermit. A Rolex Kermit, very nice. That's the, that is the green on green ceramic bezel. Very nice piece. Yeah, that's, and you know, the thing about the Kermit versus the Hulk, you know, that Kermit, especially if you, if you wear it a lot, you know, that green bezel on the Kermit will develop patina. Whereas the Hulk, that green's probably always going to remain the same color. So there's, and also it's not as shiny as the ceramic bezel on the Hulk. So there's value in both of those pieces. That's an exciting piece to be picking up. Yeah, Hybrid Life's got a great question. How much? I mean, those have gone through the roof, man. I remember the buzzing, have a Pelagos, but can't wait to get my first Rolex. Very nice. Well, that's definitely a very nice first Rolex to get. Speaking of that, how do you like the Pelagos? The Tudor Pelagos. That's something, I like it. Especially, I wish they had the Pelagos, not the LHD, the left-hand drive, but I wish they had the standard Pelagos with the red on it. If they would do that, that'd be cool. I wear my watch on my left hand. It would just feel weird wearing a left-hand drive. And it just seems, it's such an awesome looking piece though. What do you think, speaking of the Pelagos, what do you think about the bracelet? I know it's got that, you know, the little clasp that you can set to flex automatically. You know, you eat a bunch of ice cream, your wrist kind of gets fat. You know, it'll flex, or you can manually adjust it. Does that work well? I mean, it's an interesting thing. It's I wish they had like a standard class that didn't have the exposed line down through it, if you know what I mean. And I wish they would release, if they released the Pelagos, because it does have a matte ceramic bezel, which is cool. Non-shiny ceramic bezel. Titanium's lightweight, but what if they released a, it's a great, works really nice. Talking about the clasp on the Pelagos. What do you think though about the weight? You know, it's a titanium piece. I tried one on in Providenciales in the Turks and Caicos, and I liked the way that it looked, but maybe it was because at that time on my wrist I had a 42.7 millimeter Ulysses Nardin Maxi Marine diver, and maybe I was just used to the heft of the you know, the stainless steel bracelet, and it just felt lightweight, the Pelagos, when I put it on. So speaking of the Pelagos, the Limey says, I think if they did it in 40 millimeter, it'd be killer. I agree. If it was 40 millimeters, and especially if it was in stainless, I think that would be, but see, and maybe Tudor's going to change as their Rolex gets priced through the roof, but you know, they're trying to distance themselves, because if they did that, if they put that in 40 millimeter and they put it in stainless steel, and they put like a, I don't want to say it's not a normal clasp, but if they put one that looks like a normal Tudor clasp on it, that with a, you know, Tudor flip lock style clasp with what's it called, the like the glide lock type system, I think that would be a, you know, an outstanding piece for sure. not saying it's not as it is. I mean, it's titanium. Imagine if it wasn't titanium in that size, it would be really heavy. So, just that's cool. You got that, and it's interesting. So, how did you say, okay, I've got a Pelagos, and my next piece is going to be a Kermit? Why Kermit instead of, say, a Cermet or a Hulk? What steered you towards the Kermit? I mean, that's a great choice. I'm just kind of curious why. When I bought my 114060, just Submariner, no date. When I bought that many years ago, they had discontinued the Kermit at the time, but they had one of them at the AD, and I think at that time I could have gotten it for, it was around 6.5 or 7 US. I mean, it was super affordable. But I just, at that time, when the Kermit was on its tail end, it wasn't really in demand. It's interesting. And, recently I say recently, the past few years, the demand for it has gone through the roof, just like with the Hulk. I mean, it's crazy how, something that was just kind of a perceived, I saw them all together and it just stood out to me. Yeah, the green wheel, the aluminum bezel wheel, it's a great choice. And it's always going to be a classic. I don't think you can go wrong with a Kermit, no doubt. So, speaking of that, the Limey, it's good. It's awesome chatting with you about wristwatches, and I would love to extend the invitation, not just to you, but also any of your wristwatch enthusiast friends that would like to tune in with Skype for an upcoming Timepieces for Tomorrow live show. I'm hoping to do one tomorrow and then Friday for sure. And any of the upcoming shows I'll put on my main page. If you haven't subscribed, be sure to do so, youtube.com/IrixGuy. But I'll post a link to the upcoming Timepieces for Tomorrow stream, and you can set a reminder, and if you tune in, I'll post in the chat for Timepieces for Tomorrow the link to join on Skype. And I really want to get a lot of really interactive and entertaining and potentially educational wristwatch conversations with enthusiasts, like you, and then also Hybrid Life, Trevor, Marcelo, the list goes on. Just a bunch of good, genuine collectors, people that are really into it, and just really do that. Oh, awesome, the Limey, that'd be awesome. Well, you're definitely invited, and hopefully now the time zone. Typically, when I do these shows, and I know you said you're in the UK. Typically, I try to do these weeknights, probably. Let's see, around this time, maybe an hour or so later from now. So since you're on now, that'd be awesome, man. Maybe I can get them around this time. Hopefully you can fit it in, because that's really cool. I just want to get a good crew, man. Don't feel pressure to tune into every show, but as many of us as you can, and just really want to pack these shows full of guests and talk about this, because that's an interesting. You're the first person I've spoken with, and I speak with a lot of collectors. You're the first person I've spoken with that had a Pelagos and then said, okay, well, the next one I'm going to get is going to be the Kermit. I think that's so cool, because it's it's different. You're going from total tool watch that's awesome with amazing loom on the bezel too, to something completely different in green. Greenock Drone Guy, welcome aboard. Hey, Greenock, I was telling everybody earlier, I've got a new drone coming, and I tell you, it's not a DJI, so it's going to be a huge surprise, and I'm excited to unbox and review it. So it's going to be interesting. I'm not a DJI fanboy. I like DJI, but this is going to be my first stepping outside of my comfort zone. I mean, I reviewed other drone brands in the past, Parrot, and was it Unique, and then GoPro. You remember the GoPro Karma? I reviewed all of those, and they were just underwhelming. And but I have a hunch, and again, I'm always doing an honest review, but I have a hunch that this drone that I'm picking up is going to be something that's definitely going to impress. So, you know, it's going to be exciting. I'm excited about it. I'm excited to experience the videos with y'all, answer your questions, film follow-up videos. I mean, you know, just super duper exciting stuff. So, yep, drones, wristwatches, you know, we talk about it all here. Coins, coin collecting, coin reviews. Why not mix in a little bit of ridiculous humor? And I get a lot of feedback in response to the coin videos. What did you think of the new Ronin release? Did you see it yet? Yeah, I did. You know, here's what happened with Ronin. When the Ronin S, which was, you know, the original, they came out with a remake of it, but the original one-handed gimbal, I picked one up. I'm like, this is cool. You know, I can put my Sony Alpha on here. I can get gimbal stabilized, high quality, full frame 4K video. In theory, it was great. Check out my videos of the Ronin S. I got a ton of them on my channel. But in theory, it was great. And in reality, it was never 100% smooth. I never could get it 100% balanced. You know, I just couldn't fine tune it. And it was upsetting because it's like, you know, one would think that Sony Alpha would be a top platform to model your gimbal for. You know, make it compatible with what most of your YouTube vloggers and indie filmmakers on a budget are using. And they didn't. It interfaced poorly, at least the Ronin S did, with my Sony Alpha. I forget it. I had the A7 III. I think I had the A7 III at the time. But it was just like it didn't like that. It's almost like they made it for a GH5 or something, or a GH4, which is fine, but it was just weird. The one that was released today, I'm sure it's cool if you need that. I haven't tested it. I personally don't have desire to do it. I'm not much of a filmmaker. Now, I do make travel videos and adventure videos. Those are fun. But I found recently that with those videos, the coolest perspectives aren't necessarily the gimbal stabilized, looks like the camera's flying type perspective. The cooler perspective is just to get a camera, sit it on the ground and walk past it. You know, get a unique, try to film everything from a unique and creative perspective. And if you can do that, you know, it gives your videos an interesting look, and you don't necessarily have to have, you don't even have to have a tripod in most scenarios. I mean, a lot of the backpacking videos I do, for example, the Limey says seems a bit overkill. Yeah, the new gimbal, man, I mean, it does. And it's just like, do you really need, I don't know. I'd like to see one in action. Will I personally be picking it up? No. No, I've got other things I'd rather invest in. And again, I'm all about ROI, return on investment. So if there's something I'm buying that I don't feel is going to provide a significant return, then I'm not going to buy it. And that for me, I'm not a professional filmmaker, so it just wouldn't be it. Again, you know, I just like to put a camera in the grass or on a rock and film the environment. I'll be doing a lot of that on the Appalachian Trail. Remember the Discovery Channel, or it may have been the Science Channel, the show from many years ago, Survivor Man, Les Stroud. That was cool. That kind of stuff. That's what I like to do. You know, it was just him. He had a camera. You know, he allegedly did not have a film crew. You know, he did his own thing. That's the kind of filming that I like. So, you know, I can accomplish that just with my A7R4 and my G Master. I usually just keep the G Master 24-70 paired with that camera, and I mean, 24 is wide enough for most scenarios. 70 is tight enough for most, you know, blurred background with that good bokeh, that defocused background. So, you know, it's, I I just saw an Aston Martin drive down the road. That's unusual. Here in Georgia. That is unusual. Yeah, those cars, they break down on the side of the road. They look cool, but I hear they're a nightmare. But yeah, oh, I just stepped in an anthill. They are stinging my foot. Oh, that burns. But when ants sting your feet, it's a reminder you're alive because you feel it burning. Speaking of that, exciting hobbies. What are the, oh, there's another anthill. They're everywhere, man. Fire ants. Ugh, that get you. What other exciting hobbies are out there? We got watch collecting. We got drones. We got travel, adventure travel. E-bikes. I know a lot of y'all are in e-bikes. The Limey says not unusual in the UK. Talking about the Aston Martin. Yeah. No, you're right. I bet they're all over the place over there. Now, are most of them? Let me ask you this: when you see broken down vehicles, are most of those Aston Martins, or are they Fiat? Not Fiats, but Alfa Romeo. Are the Alfa Romeos over there reliable? Those cars look cool, but I've heard upon close research, I found they had a track record in the U.S. And I don't know if it's the case overseas, but in the U.S. they had a track record of being very unreliable. That's why I've been using Audis, not using but driving. They're reliable and I get good gas mileage. And that gas mileage is important, man. You know, it's kind of it's important. The Limey says Alpha's a nightmare. Well, that's good. It's not just the Alphas that are imported into the United States. Yeah, because that's yeah, you don't want an unreliable form of transportation, no matter how it looks. I will say though, the interior, not the dash, but the seats and the overall feel of driving an Alpha is great. My best friend had a Stelvio, and it was always in the garage. The Stelvio is Alpha's. No, I wouldn't call it an SUV. You'd call it a kind of a what do you call it? A crossover, or whatever. It's kind of like a mix between a car and a small SUV. Those things look cool, but man, that's why you said it's always in the shop. Yeah, that's the problem, man. I mean, you don't want something that's unreliable. But I mean, as far as the interior of the Giulia, Alfa Romeo Giulia, I thought it looked great. I thought the seats were very comfortable. The dash on it looked cheap. The way that it was contoured to sit in, and the handling and all that was great. It had some power to it too, man. Especially that Quadrifoglio. It was pretty interesting car. I drove a few of them, but yeah, I don't know, man. I think at least in the United States, Audi's kind of where it's at, because you can get Audi and then they're easy to service. I never go to an Audi dealership because they charge too much. Stephen Shaw says, what do you think of Teslas? Well, it's funny you ask that, because Hybrid Life is also in here, has also asked me that. And this was many months ago. Actually, it was probably last year. He asked for my opinion. I said, well, honestly, I think of a Tesla. I think it's like it kind of wants to look kind of like a Porsche on the front, but it looks more like a Prius? Luke says, you still look like you would have an English accent. Yeah. Hello, governor. Hello, governor. I gotta work on that English accent. That's the coolest thing, man. Going around and having well, what I really think, let's get back to the Tesla thing before we start talking about English accents. But we're gonna circle back to that. Teslas, I think interior is really cool. It's very futuristic. That screen, man, that's a boss. The Limey said it right. The service cost on Tesla is crazy. Yeah, and looking past the service cost and any possibility of it being a fire hazard, that doesn't really concern me that much. But what would concern me is the range. I don't want to be on a long trip. Here's the thing. You've been using cell phones and laptops probably pretty much your entire life. You know that battery life remaining is not always predictable. You might have more apps running. You might be using apps that are consuming more power. There's a lot of things you might be doing. Same with a car. So if you're driving more aggressively, if you're using all of those interior features, the sound system, the built-in screen, all that, it'd be kind of hard to be 100% certain. It's like, okay, well, my destination is 217 miles away. So will my Tesla make it? I never want to be in a situation where I've got to guess. And then what if you drive to whatever destination and whatever you're going to is closed, and then you have to backtrack? Well, what if you get stuck in your Tesla in a dodgy area? You're trying to get to whatever number of refueling stations there are for Tesla, and you get stuck in a dodgy area, then your car won't start. So, what are you going to do? I mean, I don't know. I just, for me to be interested in a Tesla, it would have to have a lot greater range. And what blows my mind is, why don't they put on the roof, why don't they make the roof and the hood out of like a monocrystalline type solar panel, so that while you're driving that Tesla is recharging itself? I know it'd be a slow trickle charge, but why don't they do that? I mean, that would make sense. I mean, if I could drive down the road and be like, okay, I put this on cruise control, theoretically, maybe my range would increase by X hundred additional miles. That'd be great. But, obviously it wouldn't charge at night because the sun's not out at night, unless you're in Alaska in certain times of the year. But I don't know. But overall, the Tesla thing, I mean, it's just not my style, man. I know a lot of people like them, and a lot of people are like, man, you just haven't really experienced it. I like the interior. It's futuristic. It's clean. I like that. I don't like stuff with a bunch of stuff sitting around everywhere, junking it up. But, no, for me, man, I'm more of I like the Audi. I used to like BMW. I owned a lot of BMWs. But the thing about BMW that got me was, there weren't a lot of places that would service it. So you ended up going back to the dealer. And then also, with BMW, rear-wheel drive. They 8 tires, man. And then, not only that, but most of them are run flats. So you don't even have room for a spare tire. So, one of my older BMWs, I think it was a 3 Series something. I forget the model. But I got tired of it, so I didn't even put run flats on it. I just got regular sport tires and just tested my luck without a spare. And then I kind of got tired of BMW. And the thing is, with the BMWs, especially the newer ones, man, they got that big grill in the front. It's just like, dude, what is up with this? Same thing with Mercedes. I owned a few Mercedes. It was a maintenance nightmare. I will say, though, that some of the newer Mercedes look really nice. Never been a fan of Lexus. I know they're built to last and this, that, and the other, but it's just like an expensive Toyota. And the same goes for Infiniti. It's like an expensive Nissan. And then Acura, it's like, well, I don't even call it an expensive Honda. I just when I think of Acura, I think, okay, ain't nothing wrong with this, but when I think of Acura, I think of, okay, I'm a real estate agent. I mean, it's funny, you can stereotype who likes certain vehicles, and that's kind of it. I mean, Acura is like the real estate agent's ride. I don't know why that's the case. Nothing wrong with Acura. Yeah, I like Audi, and a lot of people say, oh, Audi's just overpriced Volkswagen. Yes and no. And that's something I'll dispute, because the Volkswagen I had was poorly assembled. The Audis that I've had they seem to be great. They're assembled entirely in Europe. And that was something I didn't get, at least with my Volkswagen. I didn't get assembled entirely in Europe. And it had wiring, it had electronics issues, it had engine issues, I mean, it was just riddled with bugs. But the Audis have been a completely different animal, and I've enjoyed it. They're fuel efficient. They've got a good style to them. The seats are super comfortable. The price, and again, all vehicles have gone up recently, but the price is approachable. And if you're a haggler and you want to get a deal, if you know how to haggle, there's deals to be had. So, I've been happy from that perspective. Would I ever drive a Tesla? No. Now, if somebody wanted to give me one for free, yeah, I'd drive it, but I wouldn't drive it far because I'd be afraid, man, am I going to run out of electricity? Am I going to run out of charge? I'd be constantly paranoid. You watch the gas gauge, the gas, little meter. Imagine watching that little voltage meter and be like, oh, wait a minute, there's no gas station to stop at. You don't use gas. So that would be frightening. I don't know. And I mean, maybe if you're in California, maybe somebody there drives them, but you couldn't pay me. If somebody came to me and said, dude, I'm going to pay for you to live in California for X number of years. That's food, that's room, that's board, all of that. If somebody came to me and said that, I'd say, no. There's no amount of money that someone could pay me to live in California. Nothing wrong with California. I just couldn't live there. But I know if you did live there, that a Tesla would be something that would probably be easy to find a charger for. Now, how many people would be lined up for that charger? That's another question. But yeah, Tesla, nothing wrong with it. Elon Musk seems like a cool cat. I'm sure he's pretty smart, and that's cool. He developed his own auto brand. Good for you. Awesome. It is. I mean, there's a lot of tech in it, and I like it from that perspective. But for me, all I need is Apple CarPlay. I plug in an iPhone, and boom, there's a big iPhone on my dash, so I'm happy. Just my opinion, and I got to get good gas mileage, and and it, the Audi does all that, so it makes me happy. So that being said, let's get back to the other rant. That was the Tesla response. Luke said, "You still look like you would have an English accent." Well, I got to mess with English accents when I was in Bermuda, and that was interesting because, I learned a lot of phrases like "govna." That was a cool one. They say "govna" instead of bucks. They'd say "quid." It's like, how much is that? Oh, that's 5 quid. I thought that was funny. The funniest story from Bermuda was in, again, I was over there with STK's Adventure Channel. We were doing a YouTube collaboration. Was when we were down at Achilles Bay, and this dude came out and was talking about this fish. I think was it a parrotfish? I think that's what it is. But anyway, he explained how the beach, oh, Steven, no problem, thank you. He explained how the beach had all this sand on it. And he's like, did you know X percentage of that sand was created by these fish? And I'm like, no. And he was saying this all in this Bermudian accent, which was cool. And basically these fish just pooped out sand, and they made the beach. Oh, it's a parrotfish. I think it's called a parrotfish. So Google that. Just crazy story. But when I Googled it, it actually made sense. And, obviously, we had been out there, riding the mopeds around, and we had all this Gosling's rum and all that. It was a funny story. But I'll never forget that parrotfish. And then we got Audi is great. However, I'm thinking lining up the 2021 Golf GTI, so hopefully no bugs. Midlife crisis, been running a Nissan Xterra for 3 years. Think they call it the Rogue in the US. No, actually, in the US, they do have the Xterra also. And in the US, they also have the Rogue, which is kind of a smaller Xterra. The Xterra in the United States came out. They released both the Frontier, which was the pickup truck version, and then the Xterra. They were just, they had the cool racks and all that. I had the Frontier. I had the Nissan Frontier. That was back in 2000. It was 1999 when it was 1999 when I had it. It was a great truck, and we took it to a bunch of tailgate parties, and it was a good truck for college. And it's the same. It was the same, body as the Xterra. It just had the bed in the back. Very reliable. Nissan. Yeah, Nissan makes great vehicles, man. They really do. And I think that Golf GTI, I'm pretty sure that's one that's assembled in Europe. And that I drove one of those with. It's funny. I think they pump in. Doesn't it pump in engine noise or simulate engine noise or something? It sounds like you're driving a rocket ship when you're sitting inside of it. The seats are very comfortable. That's a great ride, man. I would definitely consider that. Yeah, that's, I would make sure, I would look at the points of assembly though, and make sure that it's, I don't want to sound biased when I say that, oh, well, if it's not assembled in Europe, I don't want it. But the reality is with these European cars, Volkswagen, Audi, BMW, Mercedes, when you're dealing with those, Porsche, you want them assembled in Europe. It's not like I'm going to go to, yes, made in Germany. Yeah, you're good, man. You're straight with that. You're getting quality. I mean, it's not like I'm going to go to Mexico and go out to eat and order Italian food. I mean, you could do that. I'm sure there may be some good Italian restaurants in Mexico. But if I'm down there, man, I'm going for seafood. I'm going for, typical, authentic Mexican food. And that's the thing with these cars, man. You want food. I mean, you want cars that are assembled at the home, If you're getting a Volvo, you want it assembled in, Sweden or wherever? Is that where those are made? If you're getting a Lexus, you want it assembled in Japan. You don't want a Lexus that's assembled in some other country. I mean, it's just, I don't know. I mean, it's just, again, personal opinion. What I say may be right, it may be wrong, but I think it's right because I said it. It's like JDM with Seiko, I guess. It's funny, what blows my mind with Seiko, and by the way, one of my first, what I thought was it was all right. What I thought was kind of a cool watch was the Seiko. The Seikos that had they kind of look like the Datejust. They were two-tone rather. I had one of those. Grand Seiko blows my mind. I mean, those things, man, prices of Grand Seiko, whoa, like through the roof. It's nuts. It really is. But they make some quality stuff. They definitely do. Walking through the Arrows. Aerospace. So, yeah, well, guys, we're going to do a studio show. The Limey, for sure. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, I think you probably have, but if you haven't subscribed so you can see the notification, because I'd love to have you, if you want to tune in on Skype for a studio show, that'd be awesome, man. We can talk about all the wristwatches, and if you have any friends that are enthusiasts as well, let them know. So trying to build up just a good, and again, this channel, it's all about good, clean, educational / entertaining. I don't want to go after, I don't want to emulate some of the other wristwatch channels. The Snowflake is special. Oh, dude, I've got the Tudor Black Bay 58 in, the blue. So the Blue Bay 58, as they call it. And I love it. It's got the Snowflake hands and 39 millimeters. The case height is very nice. It's not too tall. Just a great watch. I wear it a lot. Actually, I wear it sometimes more than I do my Submariner. Actually, I wear it a lot more than I wear my 114060. Just because it's smaller and it's definitely long. Oh yeah. Wait, I remember you back from the drone days. Like the big drone days. Okay, well, gentlemen, I'm going to I've walked about almost 3 miles, which isn't enough, but I am managing this gut. You know, you don't want to get too fat, but yeah, man, we'll be doing a few more studio live, a ton of studio live shows very soon. Not going to do one tonight, just because I got some stuff I'm going to do. But yeah, thank y'all for tuning in. Thanks for the excellent conversation, and I will see y'all next time. Again, if you're looking for Irish Guys Adventure Channel merchandise, timepieces for tomorrow merchandise, check down below this video and you can find it all there. Very high quality. Actually, the next timepieces for tomorrow live show, I'll be wearing my timepieces for tomorrow hooded sweatshirt, which I think looks really nice. The printing they did is incredible. You know, sometimes you get shirts and I've got t-shirts too, and coffee mugs and all that. Dudes, Cal C, welcome aboard, sir. We're just talking, Cal C. We're gonna have a timepieces for tomorrow night and or Friday night. Friday night for sure, but probably tomorrow night as well. So it's gonna be fun, and yeah, I'm excited for y'all to see the merchandise. I mean, this stuff is high quality. It's not like stuff that you get, so ooh, there's a t-shirt that has something printed on it. This is high quality stuff. So y'all have a good evening. 47 minutes in, and you too, the Limey, Cal C, you as well, Hybrid Life. Let's see who else we got in here. I don't want to miss anyone. Hybrid Life, Steven. There comes a car. I got to get out of the street. Yeah, everybody, y'all have a good evening, and I will see y'all on the next live show. Be safe, have fun, and thanks for the chat. See you later.